auction flippers, TDPers, cold callers, texters, everybody who's in wholesale. I'm Jamil and my friend Pace is handing out right over there, getting the technicals working. We are here doing America in Phoenix, here for you to talk to you guys about how to pull lists. I'm very sorry, it is a little bit after 4 o'clock, so we're a little bit late. We had some technical difficulties we were working through, but it appears that all of our technical difficulties are now behind us. And we're super excited. We're going to be actually going on to PropStream with you guys today. We're going to talk about what lists we think you guys should be pulling. We're going to talk about, we're actually going to sign up a new account from like scratch. We're going to then show you how to pull a list, okay? What filters you should be putting on, so that you get the best list possible in the current times. I've been getting DM'd over and over again, what list, how should I filter it, what to do, what's the discount code? So many questions, and all of the answers are going to be given to you today on this live, and this live should hopefully be a resource for you. We'll save it so that you can keep referring back to it, and ultimately carry you forward in your journey as a wholesaler to find the lists and data that you need to be successful at this business. So, Pace, how you been, bro?
Yo, what up?
Hi. Let's do it.
We've been hanging out.
We've been hanging out. Guys, that was not good social distancing, but, I mean, what do you do, right? It's just me and him. We share spaghetti like Lady and the Tramp. I eat a noodle, he eats the other half of the noodle.
Dude, I've been in here all day by myself. It's like getting so
crazy.
It's crazy. Jesse came in today wearing like a full human condom suit.
Yeah.
Like I was like, who is that? It's Jesse. He's like completely covered head to toe. Just an interesting world. I've been in here all day long, isolated by myself, doing videos, helping people out. You and I did a deal today together. We did a deal together today, guys. So Pace and I tag teamed on a deal. He talked to a seller last week, was it? We talked to the seller. I'll go through the whole thing. It's a very, very interesting, easy conversation, and we got another deal today from it. I think we're just waiting for one last person to sign, but we talked to the seller on Monday. I talked to the seller on Tuesday, and we got the contract on Wednesday. So very, very quick, simple deal.
We got the contract on Wednesday. It was not your regular deal. The seller wanted $10,000 non-refundable earnest deposit. Like, holy moly, in Corona times, that's crazy talk. There was a possible deal there for us, and what we ended up actually doing is we went to a buyer that we know very well, and we were just like, look, do you want to do this deal with us? And we did. We got a commitment. We haven't got earnest money in yet, but we should have that very soon. And we'll be making a nice little rip on that. So congrats, bro.
Yeah, it was an interesting deal. The way we got that deal is we did a high equity list.
So something like we'll be pulling today, a high equity. Was it a landlord list? What kind of list was it?
It was a high equity absentee.
High equity absentee, okay.
Yeah, and it ended up being somebody that passed away back in October.
Okay.
And the daughters of the family are currently taking it through probate. I normally would have gotten a hold of them on a probate list, but it wasn't a probate list. This is why it's good to have multiple lists. It's amazing. Sometimes I'll get a probate deal, somebody passed away, and it ends up being on the high equity absentee owner list, right? So they had like a vacation home or something like that we ended up calling. That number is now forwarded to the daughters because they're handling the estate. And it turns out they had a property that they're taking through probate. And Anna set the appointment for me. I talked to the seller. The seller said, yeah, we're about to go meet with our real estate agent to talk about this. And I'm like, oh no. Oh no. I'm like, okay, so what happens when your real estate agent tells you can sell it for X, but 4 months later the market has tumbled down during the coronavirus and now you can't sell it for even 40 grand,
right?
Whatever. She's like, well, I don't know. What do you suggest I do? I said, I suggest you talk to some investors. I go, what are you guys looking for? What's the number you want? Oh, we don't know. We haven't had that conversation. Which, and anytime a seller tells you they haven't had the conversation internally,
that's a lie.
Oh, every single time.
Yeah.
Every single time it's a lie. And what happened is, sorry guys, I'm logging into my Facebook so I can make sure that I answer any questions you guys have. And I told the seller, I said, you know what? Sounds like I'm probably not a good fit for you. If you were already thinking about talking to a seller, or I'm sorry, talking to an agent, I'm probably not a good fit for you. Because it sounds like you have all the time in the world, and that's what's essentially going to happen. She's like, no, actually, we don't have any time. We don't want to deal with this really at all. Oh yeah, there we go.
There we go.
So, just so you guys know, I did this so I can answer questions for you guys because I can't see the questions here and the streaming over there I can't see.
Okay, so we're going to start a new account, guys. We're at what they're not seeing. They're seeing this on their screen, right? So they're seeing this on their screen. So
yeah. So what they're seeing is they're seeing you and I in a little window.
Beautiful.
And they're seeing this laptop on a full window.
Okay, cool. So let me share this. Is this shared on my personal page as well?
No, not yet.
Okay, I'll do that.
So guys, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start a PropStream account because we get questions. Jamil and I are both doing deals nationwide. And what is the software that we're using when we're comping or pulling lists or doing anything nationwide? It's a little bit different than what we're using here locally. Locally, I have access to the MLS. But what happens if I don't have access to the MLS and I wanna pull a list or run a comp or look something up on somebody's property? My team has been starting to use PropStream because, again, Jamil's doing deals in 12 markets. I'm doing deals in a lot of the markets they're in already. And then Jamil and I are partnering on a company called Keegley Creative where we're gonna start dispoing subject to seller finance, lease option deals, all the creative deals are gonna start being dispoed nationwide. So I'd say within 3 to 6 months, we're gonna be taking anybody that needs a buyer for a subject to, a buyer for a seller finance, a buyer for any of those types of creative structures. Jamil and I will be helping you dispo those in Boise, Idaho, all the way to Manhattan, New York. We're going to be helping people dispo. So our team is not going to have MLS access nationwide, okay? We're going to need to be able to use some software that we can jump into anything nationwide, and that's why we're using PropStream. So today, because we're getting so many questions about PropStream, we thought we'd walk through setting up a brand new account and then start doing some investing. In fact, I'm gonna have you and I comp a few properties that I just recently sold. I wanna see what PropStream comps them out at, and then we'll talk about what I actually sold them for to kind of test accuracy and get a feel for the tools of PropStream. So, anybody that has questions, if you guys have questions, just please let us know. Yes, Ty Hurd writes, Pace, you're a machine, the man that doesn't stop working. I literally just did a 3.5-hour live where I was training another really large wholesale company on how to do creative finance deals. And I posted that live, so while I was training their team, I posted that live in my Facebook group, and Ty watched that live and was like, dude, this was like a master class, this was unbelievable. Anyway, so I've been talking literally all day long. My voice is starting to get coarse. So I apologize for my voice, but we're gonna get into it. Will you do me a favor?
Yep.
Will you sign up?
I'm gonna sign up for the first time, okay guys?
You wanna sign up for on my name?
Sure. You have an account already, don't you?
My team does. But it's a free trial, so what do I have to lose?
Okay.
So obviously we're gonna put all this stuff in, Morby, and then my email is pacejmorby@me.com. Can you guys tell which one of these is Jamil and which one's me? Or are we both just brown guys? I don't have as dope of a beard. His beard is a little off on this photo.
What's your, what phone number do you want to use?
480-239-1066. So guys, we're doing this because honestly, a lot of the questions we get on a daily basis can be answered in such a short amount of time. The challenge is so many questions happen that we want to make sure that we do a video.
So they want a credit card number.
Okay, no problem, I can handle that.
We should,
I can handle it.
you turn it off?
Yeah, we're right here.
Okay.
So guys, I'm going to pull it off the screen so I can put my card information in there. I want to make sure that I can buy gas on the way home, and you guys don't go and try and like buy a bunch of nasty shit on Amazon.com using my credit card. So Jamil, it's on, right now, it's on full screen, they can see just the
Okay.
full screen,
So, while he's doing that, guys, I'm gonna do a little, no. So, I've been asked, what's a good list to call during the crisis, right? So we're in this crisis right now. Who would be obvious people to talk to? It's after the first of the month. I would start talking to landlords. We just had somebody post in Wholesale Hotline that they took my advice, they started calling for rent by owners, and what happened? They ended up getting contracts, hot leads, like calling from Zillow for rent by owners. Like, so guys, like that's a free list. So what I would suggest is right now, start talking to landlords and don't call them and be an eggplant. Call them and say, hey, I'm a sunflower, and I actually am calling because I want to ask you, how are things going? Have you, landlord to landlord, have you been getting calls from your tenants asking you to defer rent? How are you mitigating that? Landlords will talk to other people that are in the business with them, right? So if I was you, I would approach a landlord, if you were calling a for rent by owner, and just say, hey, you know, you don't know me, but we're both local here in Phoenix. Or whatever market you're in, I noticed you have a property on that you own a rental property, and I wanted to ask you how you're kind of working through that, and engage them in a conversation, then segue that conversation into potentially buying their deal. That could be a great entrance. What would you do, Pace? How would you approach a landlord today in the current climate with renters not paying, and to be sensitive to their plight?
I think that's a really great thing to actually bring up, is bringing up the coronavirus and just say, look, a lot of our sellers are talking about how their tenants are, like we had a tenant, our first tenant today actually reached out to us like, I'm not paying for 90 days. And so we're just being very honest and telling other people that we're calling, other tired landlords, saying, hey, look, some of our renters on our side are calling and saying that they're not going to pay for the next 90 days. Are you seeing the same thing? And talk to them almost like investor to investor,
Yes.
right? And just open a dialogue. And then they're going to say, no, but I'm worried about it. We got that today. This morning, one of our guys who is a landlord who 3 months ago wasn't showing interest, this morning on my sales call, my team said he called us. And the reason he called us was to ask, hey, I know you guys are investors. Are you seeing your tenants are not wanting to make their payments?
Yep.
Open a conversation. Says he has 7 properties he wants to sell.
Amazing. I've been getting a ton of guys that have been doing lead gen where it was difficult for them over the last couple of weeks. It's not difficult anymore. Leads are flowing. Conversations with sellers and owners right now are abound. You will do well. So have you gotten through that point already with your credit card?
Yeah, I've got through the point with the credit card, and it's submitting right now.
Okay.
So here we go. So
Let's share that screen again then.
yes, sir.
Okay, so all Pace did, guys, was enter his credit card number. Now we have the success screen. So you can all see that it's successful. He was successful in entering his credit card number. Now he is going to complete registration.
So we're going to complete the registration, guys. So here's the thing about PropStream again. There's tools everywhere. Now everybody is going to say, oh, well, I use this and I use that. Here's what I like about PropStream is that it's pretty standard nationwide. So some people go, oh, I use this software, but it's not available in 14 other states. Or, hey, I like this software, but it doesn't pull this or that or this list in that state. PropStream is standard nationwide, and so we like to use it for that purpose. So if you guys are going to call my team or you're going to call Jamil's team and say, hey, will you help me underwrite this deal? We're going to be using PropStream primarily. So you might as well be utilizing the same software, and we kind of want to be able to have a standard set of software. And I'm going to act as if I don't know anything about PropStream. I'm going to go through and kind of look through it, and then we're going to take some answers. In fact, I want to underwrite a couple of deals that I flipped recently. Actually, I just closed escrow on one. Let's pull it up. Let's see what PropStream says on that property.
So
go ahead.
Before we comp, because I don't want to confuse comping with pulling lists.
Yes.
All right. So I want to talk first about pulling lists here. Can we pull a list first?
Yes, absolutely. Let's do it.
All right. So let's pull. And I talked to a couple of folks today. They wanted to. How would we pull a vacant list and how would we pull a landlord list?
Got it.
So let's pull those two lists.
Got it. Sorry guys, I'm also not ultra savvy on Chrome. I usually use Safari, so there's going to be a few things that I'm just not going to crush it at, okay? So, let's go through, draw a shape on the map in the area you would like to search. I love East Valley. This is my hood right in here. This whole area is my hood. So I'm going to do a list. That's kind of like
draw a peach on the East Valley.
Let's do it. So we're going to go here to here. I don't like Gold Canyon. I'm going to cut that off. And then I'm going to go like probably here. That's my hood, okay? So let's do a search.
Not quite a peach, more of a trapezoid.
Yeah, it's kind of like a half stop sign type of thing. Apache Junction, here's why I like this area, guys. I like this area because it is lower price point, so it's affordable housing.
So first things first, what they're doing here is you selected a geographical area.
Right.
So you didn't select the type of property. You went into an area first, and now we're going to select a list from the area.
Yeah, check this out. This is what's so freaking cool about PropStream. Check this out. So we've got, it shows 750 houses in this area are on the MLS.
Mm-hmm.
We've got 83 foreclosures. So when people say, how do you get a list of foreclosures? Guys, boom, right here, just by targeting an area. I live right here in Lucinda's area, right up by this golf course.
Mm-hmm.
I live really close to here. We're doing projects and flips and developments all in here. We love this area. I can go and knock on 83 foreclosures or leave notes or start texting using batch leads, or I can do a variety of things. I already have 83 leads within a couple of minutes, okay? 72 auctions, 23 actually are going to foreclosure, 13,000 cash buyers.
Wow.
Okay, now we would want to do a filter on that because technically, anybody that buys a property with cash is a cash buyer. So you want to filter that, at least showing that they bought 2 properties in a year. That's going to cut that way, way down.
Yep.
Because you'll see a lot of people that are doing a zero transfer is also considered a cash buyer in this area.
Right.
So we're not going to go through cash buyer stuff right now. 1,258 liens. Sick, dude.
1,600 vacant.
And I can tell you, I can vouch for that.
Okay.
A lot of the conversations we're having with people who own properties in this area are vacant properties.
So I've heard of a problem where people say that they're pulling houses on PropStream that they say are vacant and they're not vacant. What do you think's happening there?
Airbnb,
Okay, so they're...
or it's a summer home, right? So they could have all their mail going to another property.
So the reason why it's showing up vacant here is because they've registered vacant with the US Postal Service.
Interesting.
That's what I would say. The only people that can determine whether a house is vacant is USPS, because they get return mail or return to sender, or this person isn't living here, or the mail is piling up. And then the US Postal Service are the ones that say, oh, this is a vacant house.
Love that. Absolutely love it. So, let's go through here.
So again, guys, the code that we put in, and what's the code going to give them, Pace?
It's going to give them a free trial.
Okay, and then what does that free trial segue into? What does it cost after the free trial?
It's $97 a month.
So it's $100 a month, guys. Let's just round up. And what are they getting for $100?
Oh my gosh, well they get 10,000 leads.
10,000, a list of 10,000 names.
So you can basically pull 10,000 leads on a $100 a monthly basis.
So 100, okay, that's great. What's the cost per lead?
Well, I don't know. That's a great question.
Let's do the math.
Probably a penny.
So 10,000, I mean, I'm not good at math, guys. You can see I have to use a calculator for this. 10,000, and we said how much for $100?
10,000.
It's $100.
Yeah.
10,000 divided by 100. So $100.
Yeah, $100 for 10 leads.
Yep.
Or for 10,000 leads. So
Yep.
what you want to do is you want to divide that by.
Oh, right.
You want to do 100 divided by 10,000. 1 penny.
A penny a lead, guys. It's
Right.
a penny a lead, okay? For those of you that are smarter than I in math, a penny a lead.
I want to go through something really quick before we jump into this.
Okay.
Out of all the questions you get on a daily basis, I'm going to be very transparent, whether these questions have anything to do with PropStream or not, or leads or not. I'm going to tell you the top 3 questions I get every single day in my DMs, my calls with my students, everything. Not my students, but like some of those will ask the same question. But the number 1 question I get is, how do I get into this business? Right? I'm brand new. I just found out about wholesale. How do I get into this business? Wow. Like, there are so many ways to get into this business. Number 2 question has to pertain to this, is how do I talk to more sellers?
Right.
Do you get that all the time? Like, I need more leads.
Every time. I think the fun question is how do I get started? Like, how do I get started in the business is tough because you can really make a mountain out of a molehill.
Right.
Right? I could say to them, here's the steps. Prop stream, get your list of 10,000, okay? Batch leads, text those 10,000 people, and get a contract.
Basically.
Like, that's it. There's no ninja, there's no wizard that anybody has to pay a toll to.
Right.
You don't gotta cut a check to anybody for $22K.
Right.
This is how you get in the business.
Yeah, it's really interesting because here's what'll happen is I'll talk to people, like in my private Facebook group, I'll give people 15-minute consultations for free. Because mostly I divvy it out, go, you need to call me, you need to call me, you need to call me. And there's 4,000 members in there, and it grows about 100 to 150 people a day. I'm only taking 2 free calls a day for 15 minutes. But typically when somebody asks a question that's so basic that I'm like, this person needs some help, I'll send them a link, get on a call with them. I got on a call with a lady out of Florida about 3 weeks ago, and she goes, well, I've been trying to get into this business for 6 months. And I'm like, okay, got it. Like, that's a long time to not be able to get your first deal. That means there's something wrong along the way. Where are you spending your money? Are you buying leads? Are you doing anything? What software are you using? She doesn't have PropStream. She's not texting. She's not cold calling. Where is she spending her money right now? She's spending her money on a Podio mastermind of how to operate a CRM. Dude, that's like, honestly, I didn't have a Podio until my 2nd year in this business. You can do 100 deals a year and not have to have a Podio.
I didn't have a Podio until after Keegley started. I was already doing hundreds of deals a year. Hundreds!
Yes.
Before I had a Podio. Everything was written down in a notebook. I'm not kidding. Like, you don't need to get crazy with this, but what you do need is access to leads. So let's get back to the list.
My point is, you guys could go through and talk to 100 different people and have 100 different reasons or ways to get into this business. It's very basic. You could have a piece of paper, a phone, and 2 pieces of software, and you're done. You're in this business. I would say PropStream for your leads, like you said, and then go to batchleads.io for your texting.
Right.
What's your code for batchleads.io?
My code is Jamil, or Pace's code is Pace. Use one of the 2.
So guys, what Batch Leads will do is you're going to take these leads and you're going to be able to text these out. Our code, we're one of only 4 people, 2 of only 4 people have this code. You've got Steve Trang, Brent Daniels, Jamil Damji, and myself. Just use our first name on all of those codes, and you're going to get 500 free text messages.
Right, right. But you can't text 500 people if you don't have a list.
Right.
So that's where this is.
So what do you want to do? I think
let's go vacants, because I think vacants right now are ticking time bombs.
Okay.
If you have a vacant house during the coronavirus, you're crazy. Because you don't know that this house is going to be worth what it should be worth in 7 days.
Look at this one right here. Equity, loan balance is 0. So high equity, that's a high equity and vacant. That's interesting.
Awesome.
So let's filter this bad boy
Let's do
out.
some filters. Let's because people were talking about that. How do we filter this? What do you do?
Oh, what I did right there, I just made the shrinks.
Okay, so you press filter. Now, what kind of filters can we put on this?
I would say for me, like high equity, empty houses.
How do we do that? How do we do
It's
that?
loading right now.
Okay.
Where are we at here? I don't want to show this. Let's go back. Okay, so property characteristics.
Residential?
We definitely want residential. I don't want to mess with any commercial stuff.
Let's leave all that.
You know what's interesting though is we just pulled a list from PropStream last week, high equity, vacant land. So, and we got 2 lots next to each other in Apache Junction for 60 grand. Both those will probably sell for about 90 grand. So off this list, should we even screw with that though?
Let's go basic. I'm not really bullish on land right now. Let's just.
Do you want to mess with a 3-bed, 2-bath? Do you want to deal with any of that?
No, let's leave all that. super simple, let's just make this search super simple.
Here's what I would say is, here's a challenge, this is getting into the weeds a little bit, but in Apache Junction, you're gonna get a good amount of manufactured housing.
Yep.
And if you're 1976 or older, you're gonna have an issue.
So let's have that be a problem, or have that be a minimum 1976 build.
Okay, 1977 build, let's do that.
Okay,
Okay, and we'll put a max in there of 2020. Not that that matters, but let's just finish that out. Okay, should we have an HOA? It really doesn't matter.
doesn't matter.
Okay,
And what's this all here? Can we add multiple
Yeah.
panes?
Yeah.
What's all this? Could be in foreclosure or not?
should we say foreclosure or no?
No, I mean, but can we add, are we able to add multiple pain points?
Yeah.
And is that how you're doing it? Is that where you do it?
Yeah, so we'll start with vacants and then we'll go to high equity vacants. So people that have a good amount of equity and the property's vacant means that they don't live there. It could be a second home.
Yep.
Could be something inherited. We got a deal 2 months ago off that same list where somebody inherited the property. Ownership info. So what we're gonna go through, ownership, let's go through individual, not corporate.
Okay.
Okay, absentee. Should we do out-of-state owner?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do out-of-state owner. Interfamily transfer, exclude. No, let's leave that as any because.
Because yeah, a lot of times a mom transfers to a daughter, transfers to.
Well, they could have passed away.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
The estate could have easily just passed away, right? So, lien, bankruptcy, divorce status. What we're gonna do is,
I like has an active lien. What do you think of that?
well, it might say, it might only go for ones that have an active lien. Right now, it's everything. So
Okay.
if we wanted to deep dive in that.
Let's just keep it up, everything. I
Okay.
want to try to get a bigger list than smaller.
Okay, estimated value, that doesn't really matter, except, estimated value, I don't wanna mess around with anything over $400,000.
Okay, I like that.
Let's cap that. Because you don't wanna guys, especially right now with the coronavirus, we're retargeting our list to be max ARV right now, 250, and actually primarily we're trying to stay at 200.
Cool.
Unless it's in an area like the deal you and I did today, that area is an amazing area.
Yeah.
High value, like highly sought after. So in those areas that you understand, it's okay to go up a little bit on ARV, but primarily the median price that's getting sold right now is what?
I'd say like
280, 250? Okay.
Yep.
All right, so mortgage information. Number of mortgages. I don't want to target in on that. Cash buyer.
Yeah.
Well, if they bought it cash, that's okay. Let's just do any,
Any,
free and
yeah.
clear, any, seller carryback. I want to exclude seller carrybacks.
Okay.
Okay, why do I want to exclude seller carrybacks? Is because then there's a weird agreement between who
Yes.
actually owns it and doesn't.
Yeah.
Right? Let's do that. All right. So let's take a look. My search is called Bebop. Okay, Bebop and Rocksteady. So right now I have 226 properties on this list. Actually, no, it's not. 226 total. Okay, that's what I total have. That's 226.
So how do we export that? How do we create a list and get that so that I can export that into batch?
Love it. Okay, so let's take a look at it. I'm sorry, guys. I usually do not use this on Chrome, but Chrome is way easier when you're using StreamYard, which is the software we're using. So what we want to do is sorry, I'm usually on like a big 30-inch deal. Hold on just a second. Okay. So what I need to do is I need to go back and bring that over. That's the assumption that I need to do.
Okay.
So, did you guys, why don't you tell us about the house that we did the deal today together?
Yeah, so like I said, we sold it to an inside buyer just because we didn't want to deal with any craziness. It was a huge earnest deposit that needed to be non-refundable, $10K. In those circumstances, we might have been able to sell for a couple bucks more, but we had a problem of, there was no access, okay? So after 5 o'clock today, the lady didn't want anybody in the house.
Right.
So we had to sell to somebody who was willing to go sight unseen. We had to sell to somebody who was ready to do not 10K non-refundable, sight unseen.
Right.
And we still crushed it on the deal. So I think for me, that is a win all around.
Well, I mean, considering what we're dealing with right now in the market, I think that that's an absolute triumph, right?
So Johnny J. Maron wants to know, once we pull that, does it still need to be skip traced? Yes, it does. So once you pull that, you can skip trace it in a couple of places. I'm affiliated with a company called Skip Vault, SKIPVAULT, skipvault.com. You can upload that into Skip Vault and skip trace. I'm going to put that in the comments right now, guys, so you have it there. But you can skip trace that list, and then I would then take that skip trace list right over to batchleads.io and upload that into their platform and start texting people. I personally think texting is still a much better way to communicate. Pace likes to talk to people on the phone. I like to talk to people on the phone too. I just think it's a lot easier to text. I think you get a lot more bandwidth when you're texting people than you do when you are cold calling them.
Right.
The numbers are better.
I agree.
How are we doing?
Good. So I want to get it down. So right now you have 2,300 leads. What I want to do is I want to get it to a small enough thing so we can skip trace, or we can actually load it out.
Okay.
So I'm trying to shrink it down, and then basically we'll save the search and then skip it. Number of open mortgages 1, cash buyer, we'll bring that, free and clear, keep it, seller carryback, exclude. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to save this search. The name of this search is Pace and Jamil. Vacants.
Janet, have we heard or used slingshots for text blasting? Janet, I have heard loosely, but I don't promote anything that I know not to be TCPA compliant. I can tell you that Batch Leads is the best texting platform I've seen. In fact, I did a training here where I think you were on it, and we literally already had leads and people responding to us like super quick, and all of it was legal because there was human intervention between each message. I personally much prefer to use that platform. Aside from being friends with the people that created it, I think it's just easy to use, and for a dum-dum on the computer like me, I want stuff to be super duper simple. You know what I mean?
100%.
I've heard. I know of Propelio. I don't know if they're still in business or not, so I can't answer. I can't answer to that. I've never used them before. I've heard of them. A good friend of mine, Elizabeth Navarrete, was affiliated, but I don't know if the company's still around anymore. So PropStream isn't going anywhere. They're going to be in business next year. They're going to be in business the year after that. So if I'm going to front load money, or if I'm going to be paying into a subscription service, and I'm going to start to get familiar with the company, familiar with the service, and know where everything is, I'm going to want to work with somebody that's going to be around for the future.
Right. What are the questions you got? I need you to answer a couple of questions.
Cool. So what other question do we have? Does it still show mortgage history? Luis, yes it does. So it'll give you pretty up-to-date information about any deeds of trust or any mortgages that are on the property, which is amazing because if you can figure out what's owed, then you can really start tailoring your conversations with the seller based off of that information. So It's pretty real time. I've heard from people that, you know, a couple of weeks or, you know, maybe 30 days behind in terms of deeds of trust. But I believe PropStream's done a fantastic job of really dialing that in and making sure that their information is as accurate and as up to date as possible. So yes, they do still show deeds of trust and other mortgage information. So Janet, she's asking about when she's driving for dollars. She's currently using Lead Sherpa. Lead Sherpa is very expensive, Janet. I personally, I mean, Pace and I have met the people from Lead Sherpa. We're not buddies, and they are expensive, and I wouldn't recommend them. I don't recommend them. I recommend Batch Leads. I'm going to put that in the comments, batchleads.io. If you're going to do text messaging, that's where you want to do it. So it'll prompt you to create the list, and then you'll see it under properties. What other questions do we got? Keep them coming, guys. So Calvin is saying that we should select all the properties on the list, and then it'll prompt us to create a list.
There it is. That's what I did wrong.
Thank you for the input, Calvin. You helped everybody. Scooby-Doo's on, and when searching, Scooby-Doo wanted to know, when searching cash buyers, is it better to focus on people or LLCs or incorporates or people? I mean, hey, I think do them all, right? Cash buyers will typically buy in LLCs to protect the asset, but sometimes they don't. And so it really depends on the tax strategies of the individual that's purchasing the property. I don't think that you should discriminate against incorporated LLCs or individuals. I think if it's a cash transaction, search it all.
Alrighty, sorry about that, guys. I'm used to a much different computer setup, so I apologize. Using Chrome and all this.
Victor, what do you say on text messages? So you can see an old training. I did one, Pace has done one on when we went into the actual text blasting, and you're allowed to create all these different templates that help you tailor the message. So I would, I think we're going to save that for that training. Pace and I will probably do another training on text blasting again this month. So if you guys missed it and you want to tune into something new, we'll also be doing that very shortly.
So you can see I have 10,000 saved properties remaining in this billing period. Come on, baby. It's loading it up. So, just give it
Daniel Mendes said, you know, there's a lot of skip tracing companies out there. How do we know who to work with? I can tell you, I know Batch skip tracing is amazing. Their data is really good. Skip Vault data is very good as well. You should see what the match rate looks like, right? I would test it. I would say, okay, let's skip a few from whatever service you're using now, and let's skip a few from Skip Vault, and let's see what that looks like. And that will tell you, based on your match rate and how many numbers you actually get, whether or not you've got a good service. I think listening to people who tell you, hey, ours is the best, without actually testing it, you're doing yourself a disservice, right? I always want proof myself. I can tell you till I'm blue in the face that something's good, but until you actually get out there and use it and feel good about it, it doesn't matter what I say, right?
Agree with that.
Sky Lucas asked, if I'm virtually wholesaling, how many leads should I get per area for a test market? So when you guys get into a new area, how many leads are you and Cody pulling?
We're typically pulling about 5,000 just to get started and kind of get and we're going like lowest ARV possible, but like not trailer parks and stuff like that, but lowest ARV. Usually what we ask is we actually will pull a list of cash buyers, We'll make a few phone calls and we'll actually talk to the cash buyers and see what areas are super hot. There's also websites you can do. My little deal's not saving the list. But yeah, usually we'll actually ask cash buyers where they're buying, and then we'll go pull a list in that area. It's almost like it doesn't want me to pull that big of a list. Hold on just a second. Sorry guys, when I'm hunched over.
It's probably because we're on a free trial.
No. I do this all the time. I know, it's just I don't do it on this computer.
I'm gonna answer some more questions.
Please do.
Angel asks, is it really difficult to use? Do they have tutorials? They have tutorials. That's the purpose of this, is to try to just show you exactly where to click and what to put in. It's not super difficult. It's just taking some time to load, but it's pretty simple. Do we have any more shirts? Yes, we do. Go to paceandjamildoamerica.com. paceandjamildoamerica.com if you want to order a hoodie or a hat. We'd love it if you did. Not a lot of people ordered anything.
Well, we kind of stopped pushing it, to be honest.
But we did stop pushing it, to be fair, because we're stuck in Phoenix. So, but if you do want one of those super cute hoodies or hats or t-shirts with that amazing logo that my wife designed, drew, then go to paceandjamildoamerica.com and you will find it there. Daniel Mendes asked another question. If I pull a list and a lot of people tell me stop calling me, should I continue to call the list? Yes. People are always going to tell you to stop calling them just because results you get from a specific skip trace show you, or people are telling you that, hey, you stop calling me. That's going to always happen. I would just put them on the do not call. I would put them on I would stop them from being contacted again, but I would continue to call on the list. It doesn't mean you have a bad list, it means you have a normal list. There's always going to be people that tell you don't call me. There's always going to be people that tell you stop texting me. All you have to do is stop that, right? Is not communicate with them, and that doesn't mean the list is bad.
Hey guys, I'm actually going to have Cody, since he is the one that pulls all of my lists, I'm going to have Cody jump on here real quick because he pulls this from a laptop, and I know it sounds stupid, but my setup is so completely different. Like I have two big screens with a mouse, and doing this on a laptop is a little bit slow. So Cody's going to jump on here with you guys. So hold on just a second.
And they do cap us at 58 downloads for the free trial.
Understood, but I have our little thing allows us to go more.
Got it.
Yeah. Hold on just a sec, guys. Thanks for hanging.
Stephen Weidman asked,
look who I got to the stream. Oh
Hi.
My gosh. Hi, Annie.
Hello. Oh,
what are you doing? Where are you right now? Are you at your home?
I am at my home.
Nice to see you.
How are you guys?
So Annie, can you tell everybody a little bit about Batch? Why you guys feel like Batch? We're getting questions on the stream. Guys, this is Annie Dragonova. She's one of the owners of Batch Leads. Can you tell everybody just for like 2 minutes why you believe Batch is the best and what things you guys are currently working on to even improve what you have?
So we are actually, let me turn my volume down. We're actually an all-in-one platform, which is I think where we are able to do a lot of things better than a lot of other people and a lot of other companies that are out there. You don't need these huge subscription plans to be able to run a business. And I think the fact that we have such a great support, we're constantly innovating, we're constantly have people like you guys supporting us on the other end. Just generating leads, I think, is something that we've always exceeded at. So we're always teaching our users how to do so.
And can you hear me okay?
I can hear you, yeah.
So our audio in the studio is a little bit weird because we have multiple microphones picking up audio. So I'm trying not to talk as much as I normally do when I have you on the live.
No, that's good.
So when are you guys gonna add the, like, you guys are gonna start a cold call service, you guys do a whole bunch of stuff, like you're gonna do a calling platform, right?
So we're actually gonna have a dialer. It's not gonna be a quick calling service, but it will be a dialer for, by the way, look who's calling. Your
Oh my
friend
gosh.
that,
Our sound is really going deteriorating when we put it on. Can we just cut it and get Cody on?
Okay, Jamil's telling me that he wants me to cut you off because our multiple
Sorry, Annie.
audios is
No, you're
getting
good.
We're
bad.
getting a lot of people saying we got a problem. I appreciate you for jumping on.
yeah, not a problem.
You rock.
Thank you, bye. Yeah, so the challenge is the audio, there's two microphones picking up two different audios.
So whatever audio we had before you switched it when Annie came on, was working without an echo. What was that?
It was not working without an echo.
Oh.
I had to go over, so that is picking up audio, this is picking up audio. So
Okay.
when she spoke on the thing, it started like reverberating, so I went over and turned it down, but for like 3 seconds it was working, and that's where people are like, hey, before it was better. It's not. So hold on just a second, we're gonna get her out of here, kick her ass out of the studio.
Bye, Annie.
Bye-bye, Annie. And Cody's gonna jump on here in just a second. Cody's just opening up his laptop and he's jumping on right now.
Let's see what other questions we've got. Daniel's saying landlords are distressed right now. Why would they even want to work with a wholesaler? Why wouldn't they go to another investor? I mean, Daniel, that you're creating so many invisible barriers and invisible reasons why not. Just have a human conversation. Just have a human conversation with the people that you're calling. You've already created a reason why they're not going to want to talk to you and why they're going to think you're crazy and why do they want to work with, like, no. That's the opposite of the mindset. It's the opposite of what we do in this business. We don't create reasons why people are not going to want to talk to us before we even get on the phone. What we do is we say, I'm calling you to have an honest conversation about your business and see if there's a way that we can help each other. That's it. I wouldn't walk into there with any preloaded reasons why they're not going to want to talk to you, because those preloaded reasons are what's going to keep people energetically from even wanting to talk to you. Because you're walking in with, I already don't feel like this person wants to talk to me, and now I'm going to talk to them. And guess what's going to happen? They're not going to want to talk to you. So you have to remove that from your mindset. It's a completely, it's not going to be helpful to you to walk into any conversation with that preloaded. Just FYI.
So Cody's opening up his laptop, he's getting put on here right now. So just give us a couple minutes. But I wanted to go through that exact conversation real quick. So we got 2 contracts this week doing the same exact thing, which is just pulling a list, calling sellers, asking them what their situation is, and getting contracts. Here's how it worked. So on Monday, we reach out to this lady, the one where the deal you and I are doing together. I ended up getting on a call with her because my team set the call for me. Within 30 seconds, I was just saying, well, you know what, I might not be a buyer for you. Doesn't mean I don't want to buy, it might not be a good fit for you, but since we're already on the phone, why don't we just chat about what your plan is, what you're hoping for, what are you trying to accomplish? She says, well, we don't know which direction to go, and I feel bad keeping you on the phone if you don't think you want to buy the house. I go, no, I want to buy the house, I just don't know if I'm a good fit. So let's figure out if we are a good fit. So immediately stop trying to feel like you're a salesperson, trying to coerce people into selling their house to you. Truly try and figure out what they're trying to accomplish. Okay? Out of the hundreds and hundreds of deals we've done, I've never once convinced a seller to sell a property to me and that it wasn't a good fit.
Right.
Right? I mean, if they are going to go with a real estate agent, I want to figure that out. Very rarely am I going to convince somebody that's already going to list the property to sell their house to me at a 35% or a 40% discount.
Right.
Right? It just doesn't happen that often. So I want to figure out what's your story, what category can I start having a conversation with? And she said, well, we inherited the property, so that's a layer of pain. Not bad pain, but just a layer of like, I don't really...
There's no emotional attachment other than, you know, the person that might have lived there, but
100%.
Typically when they inherit properties, they just want to get them gone.
Right, so she has 5 other sisters involved. That's more painful than the house itself. Because she's having to talk to 5 sisters about every little thing, and now they're squabbling over whatever. And I said, well, what price are you trying to get? Right? When Cody comes available, he'll pop up right here. So when you see that, stop me. So she says, well, we haven't talked about price. That's not true. You've been dealing with this for 4 or 5 months. Somebody in the sisters has pulled it up on Zillow, pulled it up on PropStream or wherever they're pulling it up on. They pulled it up. They know what number they think they should sell for. So I kept persisting. I said, okay, well, how much do each sister want from the sale of the property? She goes, well, I don't know. We haven't had that conversation. That's also known as, I don't quite trust you yet to give you the true information. So just keep talking. So I kept talking to her. I said, okay, well, in a perfect world, what do you guys want to accomplish? Are you trying to renovate the property, maybe put on the market? She goes, oh, no. We do not want to renovate the property. I'm like, well, why is that? Is it a lot of renovation? Maybe I can refer some contractors to you.
But you just keep pushing her back into, I'm not your buyer, but she's continuing to walk towards you as like, no, everything that you provide as a service, I'm trying to take advantage of.
Right.
Sorry, I just wanted to point that out.
No, it's good. So she says, no, I don't think we want to do the renovation. The biggest thing that we have an issue with is the pool. And we kind of want to know what the pool's going to cost in order for the sisters to determine whether they want to come up with their portion of the money to fix the pool or not. I go, well, if you go to a pool contractor, it's probably going to cost you about $10,000 to $11,000. But if you use one of my guys, it's going to cost you about $7,000. Do you want me to use one of my guys? Guys, I have never done a wholesale deal in my life where somebody would have taken me up on my offer for subcontractors.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't happen. I'm just letting her know, hey, I'm willing to solve your problem for you utilizing my contractors. I'm also telling her I have contractors.
And I'll let you use.
And I'll let you use. I have contractors, which means I'm an investor, I'm a buyer, and I'm validating who she's talking to, right? So here's what happens. She goes, no, man, that's amazing. That's amazing, but no. At $7,000, I don't think I'm going to be able to get my sisters to pony up that kind of money because some of us have money, others don't. Now she's starting to give me information, right? So a lot of you are like, if I don't get information in the first 30 seconds, I'm afraid to be on the phone. Guys, plan on being on the phone with a seller for 3 to 5 minutes before you start getting real deep into the conversation, okay? She then says, yeah, you know what, we are afraid of the coronavirus. My sisters don't want to put it on the market. We just want to get an investor to buy the property. I'm like, great. What did Zillow say? I already know Zillow's not buying houses right now.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, we already looked up and Zillow says they're not buying properties. Okay, I thought you said you didn't look for your property. You didn't do the homework. I didn't say that to her, but I go, oh, okay, got it. So what does Zillow think it's worth? And she tells me, I think Zillow thinks it's worth $275. This is the beauty of Zillow. Zillow's wrong a lot. The actual ARV on the house is probably $315 or $320. She was way off by $50,000. This happens a lot. Zillow does screw up a lot and then sets the tone for our investor, or for us. So I go, okay, great. So if you got $280 today, would you guys sell the property? She goes, oh my gosh, in a heartbeat. I go, okay, great. So after you pay your commissions and the mortgage payment, and all, how much did you say was owed on the mortgage? Oh, we owe $140. Got it. Okay, so you owe $140. Now I'm looking at what kind of spread, and I'm thinking in the back of my mind, if each one of those sisters gets $15,000, they probably are all happy. So that's my next question. I go, so if you owe $140 on the mortgage, and let's say every sister got $10,000 to $15,000 and walked away, is that what you're looking for? She goes, oh my gosh, we'd be ecstatic. Now I know where her number is. Her number really is around 230, 245, somewhere in there. I go, great. So I just told her, I go, look, you let me know when you talk to your sisters about the pool. Cody's on here, by the way. Hey, Cody.
What up?
Hey, real quick, bro. So here's the challenge.
Yeah, we're gonna have a sound problem.
We're going to have a sound problem.
They can hear him.
Yes, they can hear Cody. Cody, I want to turn my volume off so I can't hear you. I know you can hear me. And I want you to go through and pop PropStream up on your page. And we want to go through East Mesa, Apache Junction, and we want to pull a vacant property list.
Okay.
And then what we want to do is we want to get that list ready for us to skip trace through batch.
Okay. All right, can you see my screen?
Yep, we can see your screen.
Okay, perfect. So go ahead.
Go ahead and walk everybody through it, brother.
All right, so guys, Pretty simple on PropStream. What I really like about it is this map feature. So you can go to different areas of town. Like Pace was mentioning, specifically, we're going to look at, like, let's look at Apache Junction. This is one of our favorite areas to buy deals in and, you know, find properties in. So what's really
Hey Cody,
cool,
the list that we got, I can barely hear you, so it's good. I can go back and forth with you. The two lots that we just got under contract today, weren't those in Apache Junction?
yep, they're actually over here somewhere. Somewhere, yeah, south in this general area.
Love it. Okay, so guys, the reason I point that out and I stopped Cody is because I want you to know the list that we're about to pull is the list that we just got 2 vacant lots under contract today that we will probably turn around wholesale and make $20,000 or $30,000 off. And we used PropStream to pull this list. Then did we text this or pull call?
Do you recognize this?
Yeah, Hail. How much did we make on Hail?
We made $25,000. We got this list. You could actually see here, guys. Last sale date, February 5th, 2020. We bought this deal for $60 and then sold it to actually one of my really good friends, Jared Harris. And so we sold this deal to him, made 25 grand selling it to him. Literally, so I mean, and this is a vacant property, so that's actually funny that popped up. So guys, this is just the vacants. You can look at properties with liens. You can find foreclosures, the pre-foreclosures, high equity. So we're just going to look at vacant. And this is as simple as it gets. You're going to click on select all. You're going to add that to your list. Create a new list. Let's call it vacant list Apache Junction. So now we have that list there. And so what you guys are going to do is then go over to the My Properties tab. And then, so now you'll be able to see all of your different marketing lists that you've pulled. So let's go ahead and look at, vacant list in Apache Junction. So if you want to get this list skip traced, it's super, super simple. Because all you're going to have to do is you have the address, city, state, zip. You have the owner's information here, and you can actually change the information to just have what you need. So, like, to actually skip trace this list, you have the first name, last name, and you only really need the first owner here. So owner first name, owner last name. And then we're going to go ahead and apply that. And
Cody,
then
thanks for doing this, because I would have never been able to do this hunching over this laptop.
Yeah, for sure. So then all you're going to do from there, guys, is literally select all. You're going to export this list. And that's literally it, guys. So that list is now exported. And then you can go into batch and just upload it directly into batch.
I know we've switched over to batch. Do you have batch on your laptop? We can upload that or no?
If I could try to remember the password, I just do everything on my actual desktop and on the laptop.
That's how I am. I do everything on my desktop. The only thing I do on my laptop is like lives and Zooms and stuff.
Yeah. So
he's pulled the list. He's got it exported. And he's like, now all we gotta do is upload it to batch.
Awesome, and we'll do a whole skip tracing live on another. I just wanted to be able to show people how to pull a list. So
hey, Cody, can we do one thing before you take off? I know you got a family thing to go to. Angel Rivera says he has a property to comp.
Yeah.
You want to comp a property for Angel real quick?
On here?
Yep, using PropStream. Angel, put the address. Do you want us to do the address here, or what do you want to do? Obviously, you're sharing this address with everybody. Cody, why don't we put Boise in there, the house that we just closed escrow on a couple days ago? Why don't we comp Boise?
Okay, do it.
And just show people how you're going to comp utilizing PropStream. So that way you guys can see how we pull a list, export a list, which is what Cody just did in 3 minutes. And then he's going to comp a property that Cody and I just flipped.
Yep, so you'll be able to, obviously I pulled it up. you have the property there, a picture of the property. So we're going to go to the details. And then what we're going to do is go to the comparable and nearby listings. So now this is going to load up. And so what's really cool is PropStream automatically does the square footage about, I think it's about 10 to 15% smaller and 10 to 15% bigger than the subject property. The subject property being the property that you're trying to comp. So our property was 1,000 square feet, so it's a little bit smaller, a little bit bigger. And so this is the mobile home, guys. So we want to make sure that we're selecting residential. And then we're doing mobile homes. So we already got a good little list of properties here.
You push though, it pops up on the screen.
Actually, this is one of the, this is actually, I think, a pretty good comp that was down the road. Yeah, so this was actually a comp that we helped base our value off of. So this property sold for $185,000. And where I found that, again, guys, was right here, $185,000 this property sold for. And on this particular deal, it was a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,200 square feet. So that's 200 square feet bigger than ours, and it was completely remodeled, and it was a little bit newer of a build. And so that one, you know, had an extra bedroom. So that was, you know, a pretty good comp for us to go off of. And then you could even go farther out. So there's not that many sales really close to the property, so you can go out a mile. And you know, the king of dispo is there, Jamil himself. You know, usually, and I know he would agree, you want to stay within the same neighborhood when you're comping a property. But if you have to go outside it, you know, you go about a half a mile out, and if you have to, you go up to a mile out if there's not enough comparable types of sales for you on that deal. Let's see what else we got here. So obviously there's a lot of different, you know, sales that, you know, have occurred within, you know, not that far. Let's see what else we got. What you can do also with the map feature is be able to, you know, find out specifically, you know, as you're scrolling through on here, you can see, okay, property 6, you can reference that back over on, you know, this side of the screen. So basically, it has all of the options for you to be able to go through. You know, if you only want 2 bedrooms, you know, changing it to maximum of 2 bedrooms. Same thing with bathrooms. You could go based off your build. So let's do newer mobile homes. So you can really clean up this list to have a lot of, to really get, you know, narrowed down the best comps for you. So here's another one. We actually sold, we bought this flip for, I think it was
Cody, what was our purchase price with our buyer on that deal?
$71,000.
No, I know we got it for $71,000, but what did we exit at?
We sold it at $159,000.
159.
So 5 over what I would have come to that.
Yeah, the market was going great, and that's it. Guys, that's the thing about that area and staying in the lower than median price in your state.
Yep.
Is that's the ability. Is in a good market, you can list it for Did we list it for 159, Cody?
Yeah, we did, and I thought it was high, but you know, I was.
What was
totally
funny
wrong.
is when we were about to list it, Cody, my wife who lists our properties, goes, "What do you want me to put it up as?" Cody's like 149. That's what I comped it at, and I said, no, "Hell no, put it up at 159." We ended up selling for 159 day up.
Beautiful.
It was great. We ended up netting like $48,000 on the flip, something like that. And that flip, because of our construction background, that flip took us 2 weeks.
Amazing.
Right.
Thank you so much, Cody, for
He's-
jumping
he's
on.
wrapping
Are
it
you
up
still,
right
are you
now.
still comping? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear.
No,
Hey,
yeah,
Cody, thank you, bro. You're the man.
yeah. Appreciate you guys having me on.
Where can people reach out to you if they have a question, Cody?
They can reach out to me in the Creative Financing with Pace Morby Facebook group, or you can reach out to me on my Instagram, Cody Barton Official.
What's your personal cell phone? Everybody wants to know. I'm just kidding. Dude. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Cody, thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. See you.
So there you have it, guys. We try to keep it as simple as possible. You saw Pace and I fumbled a little bit, but we brought the genius in our in-house genius, Cody Barton, on to help us, and he absolutely did, and he did a fantastic job of doing that. So if you have any further questions about this, reach out to us on our Instagrams. Pace, what's your Instagram?
Pace Morby.
You guys probably already follow him. If you don't, do it. Follow me at jdamji, at JDAMJI. Send me a DM. I respond. People will tell you I do. And the ones who don't, I don't respond to them because their profile pictures are terrible. Or their username is Kidnap Your Mama. So what else do we want to share?
Last thing, I want to wrap up this conversation with the seller. Okay, so the seller, because we actually got 2 contracts this week from the same exact thing. So what happened is when that seller came back to me, she said, you're right, me and my sisters don't want to do the renovation. But she asked me on the phone call, where would you be? And I go, I don't know where I'd be, I haven't seen the house, but I see other investors are buying the houses in that area around 190 to 200, which wasn't true. Other investors are paying 225, 235 in that area. So I just said, I see other investors online, I'm looking at them, they're at 190 to 200. So she came back to me the next day and she said, my sisters and I absolutely would love to work with you. You actually were the only honest person that talked us through. We gave her multiple options and built a relationship with her. She comes back and she says, would you be willing to do 225? Guys, most people in that situation are going to try and sell the customer and try and figure out how to get that price lower. This is all I said, is I said, I'm so sorry, that price is too high for me. Thank you for getting back to me so quickly. That's it. That was it. I stopped the conversation. I left her wanting more. She immediately came back and she said, where would you be? And I said, I'm so sorry, the price is too high. I don't want to offend you with my offer. She then comes down to 215. I reached out to Jamil and I said, hey, I've got a hot one in a great area. What can we do here? Can I do 215? He says, lock it up. Lock it up, sell it next day, right? So here's also the same thing as my team. I took that screenshot from the text message I had with her. I took that screenshot, I shared it with my team, my acquisition team, and we got a contract the exact next day utilizing the same text message. So I'm going to actually pull the text message up and share it on my screen.
Pace J Morby?
Just Pace Morby.
Okay.
I'm going to pull this up real fast, guys, so you guys can see how simple this text message is. Let's see, Deal Hub Acquisition Squad. Right. Come on. 320. Okay, here we go. Boom. So guys, we're going to share this screen with you. I want you guys to see this. And obviously I've got some of my own text threads in here. I'll close those down. But here's the text. She came back to me and she said, it was great talking with you today. Let me just make sure that, okay, we're good. So she said, it was great talking with you today. So I was able to get the sisters to agree to a cash offer, but there's a few people who think the offer is too low and I want to counter at 225. I said, I can't go that high. I'm sorry. Thanks for getting back to me so quickly. I said, absolutely, take your time. Our offer stands the rest of the week. I have no idea what next week's holds, so we have to revisit everything if you wanted to work with us. She came back to me at a lower price. My team then started talking about this on our deal, and where the heck is the text thread? Dang it. Anyway, our team literally took that exact deal, took that exact text thread, I'm sorry, the price is too high, thank you for getting back to me so quickly, to another seller on 2 lots in Apache Junction, the same list that Cody just pulled for you guys. That's the value of this, is taking a list that you go from PropStream, okay? Utilizing the free trial, get that list, go to batch leads. The text message that we, or the deal we got was 2 lots in Apache Junction, $30,000 each. He wanted originally $45,000 each, even though that was the price that we could sell them at. We simply said, your price is too high, thank you for getting back to us. He dropped his price $30,000 from one text. So we use batch leads for our text message platform. So guys, there's another video that Jamil did about batch leads, showing you guys step by step. Tell us about that video.
Simple video, guys. I just go
And
in.
where can they find it?
On my Facebook page, in the group, the Wholesale Hotline group. You did one as well for the Creative Finance. So if you guys are in the Creative Finance group, find one that pasted.
We actually deleted ours because yours was way better. So I deleted ours and I refer everybody to your video.
Well then, guys, in that case, the Wholesale Hotline Facebook group has it. Or actually, yeah, I even have it on a Google Drive. So if you want to send me a message on Instagram, I'll just send you the link.
And what do you do on the video?
I literally, like in the dumbest way possible, show you how to get a deal in like 25 minutes. Like the dumbest way possible. I'm talking Mr. Potato Head gets a wholesale deal.com.
Why don't you wrap us up, brother?
I appreciate everybody for joining us today. Stay safe out there, people. It is a crazy virus-filled world, but none of us are viruses. We're all human beings trying to survive in it. Be nice to everybody. Don't shake hands, but hug people through your hearts, your words, and your kindness. We all need more of it today, so just be a light in everyone's life. Remember, we're all doing our best, and stay safe and stay happy, and let's just keep crushing it. Ciao.